Shabbat Shalom, everyone. When you think about it, the drama between God and Moses and Pharaoh, it takes time to build. It doesn't happen all at once. We've got some denial, we've got insecurity, we've got setbacks. There's stubbornness, there's plagues. And after a lot of difficulty, the move towards freedom finally gains momentum. And just when freedom is in sight, that's when God says, wait, stop. Before we continue, the people have to do something for themselves. And so we read about how the first month, should be the first month, the beginning of our calendar, that aspect of beginning that Rabbi Mark pointed out. We also read, though, about something a little bit different. Right after the new month, God tells the Israelites to take a lamb and hang out with it for a few days. And then, not only are they going to put the blood of the lamb on their doorpost, they're also going to eat the lamb with family and friends. While this might not sound like a big deal, our rabbis point out that for most Israelite slaves, this would have been terrifying. They thought that the lamb was sacred to Egyptians, so taking a lamb was a real risk when they hadn't had to do anything for themselves up to this point. God and Moses had done all the work. But for the exodus from Egypt to succeed, every Israelite family had to participate. Regardless of the despair, regardless of the isolation or the uncertainty, all the emotions that the Israelite slaves must have felt, that act of taking a lamb was profound. It meant I'm a part of something larger than myself. I'm connected to, I'm in relationship, I belong. And my belonging, my engagement, leads to my freedom. And it wasn't just the Israelites. Midrash teaches that other peoples joined in that exodus. That sense of belonging was not limited to the Jewish people alone. It was expansive. It was welcoming. It was embracing. What a profound and simple teaching. Taking a lamb represents the whole people participating. Anyone who wants to be a part of, embraced and accepted. Everyone joining together, taking a risk to perform a ritual, share a meal. And that's the path to relationship and belonging. It sounds like a beautiful community, one that I would want to be a part of. It's an ideal worth striving for. And it sounds to me a lot like the ideals we have here at Temple Emanuel. And I'll return to that in a minute, along with the lamb at the end. When I was searching for a new congregation, a new spiritual home, the search committee asked me what I was looking for. I want to say in both online interviews. And I told them that I was looking for a sacred partnership. Sacred partnership between rabbi and congregation where we could care for each other, where we could explore our tradition together, where we could be accountable to one another. And all of the paperwork, the beautiful paperwork, Art, was it your daughter? Who put together the artwork? Hillary Kozlowski's daughter, that's right. It was gorgeous. It really was. And all the paperwork seemed to indicate not just that you had a good graphic designer, but that these ideals, that sacred partnership, this is who you were, this is what you were looking for. And with the initial Zoom interviews and the way that y'all talked about the congregation, it really seemed like this was who you were. And I was invited to come out for an interview. And there was an ice storm. And then January 15th happened. And I was supposed to come out like a week after the incident, something along those lines. And here I am, I'm in the midst of a job search where I'm going to pack up my family and move to a different part of the country. And I knew that congregations were nervous about finding a rabbi. It was more of a rabbi's market and not so much of a congregation's market. And so time was a factor. People wanted to lock in their rabbis. But after experiencing that trauma, I was in no shape to interview. And so while Bill shared the story where I was able to still have a sense of humor, did I do anything interesting that weekend? I was really emotional because in that conversation, I asked Bill, I said, I need 2 weeks. I can't come out when I'm scheduled. I'm not going to be up for it. Knowing that I might have missed an opportunity to become your rabbi by doing so. And Bill's response, right, because Bill was chairing the search committee, he said that he was so glad that I asked for more time. And of course, they would set a new date. And I can't fully express to you what that kindness meant to me in that moment. I don't know how many of you knew what happened, like that level of detail. But you all should know about what Bill and the search committee and the board and anyone else who was involved in that decision, what y'all did and how it just touched me. And since I've arrived, I've seen numerous examples of that heart and that spirit from our leadership, from our staff, and from all y'all. Truly. Y'all are amazing. I mean, it's almost like you really want to live up to your vision and mission and values. Now, don't get me wrong. You're not perfect. I mean, I think you're pretty swell. I think you're pretty swell. But I've been around, 6, 7 months. I know that you're not perfect. And of course not. And as I spoke about during the Yamim Noraim, during our High Holy Days, neither am I. And that means that we have so much work to do together as sacred partners. And the great thing is that you've got such a solid foundation upon which to build. Right, starting with your vision. Right, the vision of Temple Emanuel is a vibrant Jewish community for all. For all. You didn't say a vibrant Jewish community for its members. You didn't say a vibrant Jewish community for the Jews of Forsyth County. The vision is for all. Now, a vision is an ideal, a dream. It's not supposed to necessarily be attainable. A vibrant Jewish community for all is a pretty high bar. And what's amazing is you didn't stop there. Because you went and made inclusion one of just 5 values. Out of the 5 most important values that you could have picked, you picked inclusion. And what did you say about inclusion? Temple Emanuel welcomes everyone. I mean, what a beautiful challenge. Right? And I'm the one who's supposed to be known for hospitality, and that's your value? No wonder we ended up together. Seriously. That idea of welcoming everyone, that's hard. That is so hard. That's, up here. I mean, it's easy to welcome people we like, but that's only a small part of the pie. That's only a small subsection. What about those that we don't like? What about those who are different? What about those who vehemently disagree with us? What about those who don't meet our expectations for who should be walking into our community? Just because it's a mitzvah to welcome the stranger and to love the stranger, it doesn't mean that's easy. Because it's our value and because it's our vision, we are supposed to try to figure out a way to live it, each of us. As I said, what a beautiful challenge. The other values of Temple Emanuel: education. We create meaningful Jewish learning experiences for all ages. Yes, for all ages, not just the kids. And that takes a lot of work. And we have incredible people. Do you know that we have incredible people in this community? They can teach us about movies and music and so many different aspects of our tradition. From professors, ex-pastors. We got a little bit of everything here. I mean, y'all are amazing. But that statement is missing one piece, because we can create meaningful Jewish experiences. But we need the commitment from y'all to take advantage of them, right? It's not enough just to create them. Spirituality is a value. And I love how you phrase this. We live this by embracing tradition and creating a sense of peace and purpose. And I would add that if we can do this, it doesn't bring just purpose, it brings purpose and meaning to our lives. And I need to stress this. I know a lot of people join synagogues for their kids. We are all entitled to a spiritual life. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter how old you are. We are all entitled to a spiritual life. We just have to claim it. And it's okay to tell me, Rabbi, yeah, that's not really working for me. I encourage you to do so. So we can have the opportunity to sit down and see if we can find something that might work, because there is such depth to our tradition. There's such power. There's so many opportunities to explore. And it's an honor for me to be your partner on that journey. Now, for the value of Tikkun Olam, repairing the world, you wrote, we work toward repairing the world through social action, community outreach, and philanthropy. Now, social action and philanthropy, let's face it, we can always do more. And yet, from everything that I've seen so far, it's a real strength here at Temple Emanuel. Such generosity of spirit, such generosity of substance. But community outreach, that piece of the puzzle, it's a little different, because while we can always do more, that's really an area where we can never do enough. To reach out to the African American community right now, to offer love and support after the terrible murder of Tyree Nichols. But I speak about, many times I've spoken about how the entirety of the Jewish world, including the Temple Emanuel community, was with us that day when we were taken hostage. Every African American sees themselves or their sons or their grandsons in that video that was released last night. And they are asking themselves, what do we have to do to make this violence stop? And there are always moments like that where we need to be able to offer love and support, to reach out to the Muslim community, even now after we suffered such a horrible terrorist attack last night, to offer love and support and seek it from them as we are all mourning again after death and violence in Israel. To strengthen the relationships in the midst of strife. I mean, how many other communities do we need to have good relationships with? When we're concerned about rising anti-Semitism, we want to have good relationships with everybody. And it's time-consuming, building relationships. And it's too much and it's never enough. And yet we need to be able to stand up to offer love and support to others because we're going to need it at some point in time. And we definitely want people to offer love and support to us. And that means reaching out and building relationships. And that is a part of who we are throughout its long history here at Temple Emanuel. And finally, the value of community through outreach and engagement and participation. Outreach, engagement, and participation, we create a sense of belonging. It's like you read the Torah portion. Now, that's a tall order. It's a lot. And like all of these, they're basically impossible to fully achieve. And it's absolutely worthy of our time to try, to spend energy and effort to do all we can to get as close as we can to achieving these goals. And it brings us back to our Torah reading. That beautiful idea of an expansive and profound sense of belonging. It starts with everybody taking a lamb, everyone participating, everyone feeling and being a part of. God and Moses do a lot, but it takes everyone's effort to make that dream a reality. We need you. We need you. I am going to do all I can. I put my heart and my soul into everything I do. I will do my part, and I expect you to hold me to it. And I want you to know that our staff is amazing. I know that most of you probably have no clue what everybody on our staff does. Like, for real, like several people have told me, I don't know what people do. And that's not a surprise. When outside of Colleen and our amazing, beautiful, loving preschool, right, Becky DePalma is our longest-serving staff person. She's been here less than 2 years. Jeff and Bruce both celebrated 1 year recently. Hillary and Sharon were hired after I was. It's so funny because I'm like, Jason, what do we do? What are the tradition of Temple Emanuel? He's like, well, I just kind of got here a little bit ago. But I want you to know, Jason and Neil, I can throw anything at them. Like a day before, 2 days before, what professionals. And it's not just about the talent, it's about the love and the care. And we see this from all of our staff. Monte, who is doing janitorial work for us, new to our community, and experienced great loss within his family recently. Just cares so much about this community, top to bottom. And even Cynthia. Oh my gosh, Cynthia Silber, we still call her for advice. We know you're watching and we love you. And you just have to know that this incredible team is so committed, brand new to this community and so committed to caring for and supporting this community. And we can't do it alone. And our board and our committees and our affiliate groups are doing incredible work. And they can't do it alone. All I want Small thing. All I want is for everyone here at Temple Emanuel to feel that sense of belonging. And my focus as your rabbi is to do all I can to help this sacred congregation live not just your values, but our values. And I'm going to be with you through all the ups and downs, and I want us to live our values. And even when we disagree, I want us to live our values. And I'm going to be a real nudge about that. I want you to know I'm not going to let it go. I'm going to be... I'll do it with love and kindness, but I'll be a nudge about that. And I didn't write any of it. I didn't write your mission. I didn't write the vision. I didn't write the values. That was your work. And I love it. And I get to love it. And I get to do my best to live it because our values are aligned. I promise you that I will make mistakes. I talked about that. I promise you that we will disagree at different points in time. And I promise you that our relationship will not always be easy. I also promise to do all I can to be there for you and care for you and be your biggest cheerleader. And I will be your sacred partner as we reach towards that vision, that ideal. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful and honored to be here and serve as the rabbi of Temple Emanuel. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Shabbat Shalom.